Hi, my name is Marlene Stewart, and this is for History 641 with Professor Van Cleve. My personal interests in history are genealogy primarily, with DNA and how it has improved genealogy. But I'm also interested in ancient history and European history and everything else that I come across, really. I'm sure just like everyone else. But as you know, many of my conversations were about genealogy and how all the methodologies help with when you're doing research. The slightest mention of a person, whether it's religious history and we're talking about documentation of whether that person was alive or dead or when they got married, the Holy Trinity is birth certificate, marriage certificate, death certificate. Or if you find out that someone, in legal history, if you find out someone was sued, or if they were arrested, or if they were convicted of a crime, or if they had a will, or if someone cast aspersions upon them that they did something and then they argued it in court. Or a property line argument. Many times people argued over property lines and that made the paper, or it at least made court documents. So any tiny bit of that information, if you can find out that someone lived in a particular state in an area when someone else was born, it narrows it down from someone who didn't. And there are a lot of people out there with the same name. So all the methodologies resonated with me. Personally, I teach high school in a juvenile detention facility, and I've been doing that for 20 years. And I've very much enjoyed it. But I'm coming up on retirement in about 5-6 years. And my goal then is to teach, I'd like to teach adjunct history classes online when I'm retired, because you can do that from anywhere. So in the meantime, I'll be pursuing grad school. I chose for my class Foner's text because I'm a high school teacher. Foner's is for undergraduate work, of course. It's not a high school text, but it is so well done, and the maps and the graphics and the pictures are wonderful, and he covers so many more things than we do in our text. And we try and bring in supplemental information all the time, but it takes so long to bring it in and talk about it and you know, do a preliminary lesson so that the kids have some prior knowledge, and then but to have it right there in the text is wonderful. And we're getting digital textbooks next year. So I've been using Foner on Kindle, and I'm going to be pushing for us to use Foner as well, and at the high school level, 1 semester each. So I don't know if that'll happen, but that's my hope, and it's been fantastic all year because I've been tying it in with my classes whenever I could. So on my syllabus, I used Foner as the reading for my text, and I very much agree with everything that he did. I did want to point out that it's a survey course. These survey courses, in my opinion, are meant to put a timeline in someone's head so that later on they have categories to put information, kind of a Kantism. If you have no idea of the timeline and somebody mentions the Korean War, you can't say, oh yeah, that's right, that was, that was right then. None of that resonates for the student. And most of you who are teachers probably, and probably have more advanced students, may already have that timeline, or they may already have a lot of that prior knowledge, but my students almost unanimously do not. So when we're dealing with history, which can be a dry topic with a lot of figures and numbers and names and dates, and a lot of people come out of it saying, hey, I hate history, when really what they hated was trying to remember all of those things in high school. So if you accompany it with some great pictures and some documents and some big colorful maps to look at, so you're like, oh, that's where that is. Because I have to tell you, I don't know about the rest of your students, but my students suffer terribly when it comes to geography. So we're constantly at the map trying to find out where someplace is that was mentioned in the news or that we're talking about, because they're, you know, they may or may not remember, they may or not be interested right at that moment, but if you just keep giving it to them, sometimes they get it. So I hope all of you had a wonderful course. I had a wonderful course, and I'm so happy to have this product at the end that I can use. And I've had so much fun interacting with all of you and learning about all the different methodologies of history. And this has been terrific. And I really enjoyed doing it. And I look forward to seeing you in future courses. I'm sure I've run into some of you before, and I'm sure I'll run into more of you later. Thank you very much for your time, and have a wonderful October.